Welcome everyone. I think this is officially our second lunch mock. Is it our second for the year?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. Linda keeps tabs on those things, I don't. I think it will be a fun call. We do have some people on the call, obviously, who don't know each other yet. So before we get to our new councilwoman, can we go around and just let everybody introduce yourself so Councilwoman Spilsbury knows who you are? And Lauren, is your hair good now? Okay, all right, we're gonna get started. So I'm gonna start with Linda.
Hello, I'm Linda Haskell with the Mesa Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Kevin.
Thank you, Sally. Hi, council member. I'm Kevin DeRosa with Advanced Champion Supply, a proud member of the Mesa Chamber for over 40 years.
Yeah. Melissa.
I'm Melissa Buxton. I'm with Superstition Spring Center and Macerich Shopping Centers. And I don't know how long we've been a chamber member for, but it's been over 25, 30 years.
It's been a long time. Joan.
Wow. Council member, how do you do? I am Joan Kruger. I am a commercial real estate broker with NAI Horizon. I've only been a Mesa Chamber member for a couple of years, but I am a former council member in Gilbert. So all the best to you.
You look familiar too, maybe that's why.
Oh, it could be.
Becky.
I'm going to try to do this fast before my dogs go crazy. I'm working from home today. I am Becky. I'm with Acoya Mesa Senior Living here in Mesa. Haven't been a member as long because we've only been open since September of 2019, but proud chamber members.
Thank you, Becky. Lisa.
Hello, council members, Spilsbury. My name is Lisa Randall. I'm with Family Promise of Greater Phoenix. We're an emergency homeless shelter for families headquartered in Scottsdale, but we recently expanded to Mesa this fall.
Thank you, Lisa. Lauren.
Good afternoon. Nice to meet you, Councilwoman Julie. I'm Lauren Leverett. I'm with Gateway Bank. We are the only community bank here in Mesa. We focus in commercial lending, but we're a full service bank. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Annie.
Hi, hello everyone. Hello Julie, council member, nice to meet you. I'm a new member. I'm a CPA and I just joined Mesa Chamber in December. So I'm looking forward to meeting everyone, getting to know all the local businesses and supporting them.
Thank you, Vanny. Shelley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shelley Berry with Gateway Bank, along with Lauren Leverett, and the Business Development Officer here too. And I think Gateway Bank's probably been part of the Mesa Chamber since its existence about 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, at this time, I would like to turn things over to Connie Good. Connie is with Mountain America Credit Union, which is in your district, Councilwoman. And Connie, if you could just take a few minutes and talk about what's happening with Mountain America. I know you guys have been very, very busy since COVID hit.
Absolutely, and we'll touch on that in a minute. So, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Connie Good. I'm with Mountain America Credit Union. So, Mountain America opened its doors in the 1930s with a simple goal. That is to help our members financially. Today, that spirit of cooperation still drives us. As a not-for-profit financial institution, our focus is to guide members toward financial success. We do this through a combination of affordable products, friendly service, community involvement, and financial education. At Mountain America, you have access to a full suite of financial services, including savings accounts, auto RV loans, free checking, credit cards with competitive rates, SBA loans. As a matter of fact, we have been nominated #1 in business lending in the credit union industry the last few years. Last year, we participated in SBA PPP, and again this year. We also have business checking plans, retirement planning, and more. Plus, we have online and mobile banking for convenience for our members. Also, I would like to mention that we have presence in 6 states: Idaho, Utah, Montana, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico. Currently, we are close to 100 branches in 6 states and definitely growing in Arizona, with our Chandler branch opening the middle part of March. As your financial partner, we're dedicated to preparing you for the road ahead. Our vision is to help our members define and achieve their financial dreams. Last but not the least, and like Sally said, we are very busy with SBA PPP right now. As a matter of fact, for those that are looking into or applying for SBA PPP, go on our website at www.macu.com and you will find the link and the information on how to apply. If you have any questions, you can actually contact our branch here in Mesa or any other branches we have in Apache Junction, Goodyear, Taylor Branch, Glendale, soon to be Chandler Branch, Gilbert, as well as Queen Creek. So we are definitely here big in Arizona. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you, Sally.
Oh, thank you, Connie. We appreciate you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Connie before we turn it over to our council member? I know you all know her so well. So, okay. Well, at this point, this is a treat for us because we've been waiting for Julie to get settled in. So, Councilwoman Spilsbury started in January after being elected last fall. She is with District 2. And Julie, I think you've been active with schools for what, 15, 16, 17 years? You're muted, Julie. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Julie so she can give us a little bit of lowdown on what she's been doing the past few weeks and what kind of plans she has for her district. Thanks for being here, Julie.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your lunchtime to come meet me. Yeah, I'm super excited to serve. I grew up in Mesa. My husband and I both grew up around the corner from each other and went to Mesa Public Schools. And so we decided to raise our 6 kids in Mesa. And we have 5 girls and 1 boy, ages 14 to 22. So I have spent the last 2 decades in our community, mostly with the schools, the elementary, junior high, and high schools, and district committees and stuff like that. So that's kind of where my passion has been. We have also owned a small business for the last 23 years that we actually just sold last year. But so I am really into small businesses and I want to be a champion for small businesses. And so I've been working a lot with Chris Brady and with the Economic Development Department and the Community Services Department to try to figure out how we can facilitate some issues that I hear about regularly. I just love Mesa. I love community. I love people. I want to help. I want to connect people with the resources that the city has to offer. And when I started watching all of the council meetings, I realized really quickly that my voice was not represented on the council. And so that's why I ran and luckily won. So I'm drinking from a fire hose. There's so much to learn. But since September, I've been meeting every week with a different department head to just try to learn as much as I possibly can. And then I've been out in the community meeting with small business owners and commercial real estate developers and anyone that has anything to do with the city of Mesa. I've been trying to meet with to try to understand how it all works together. I do hear a lot of negative experiences with small businesses quite frequently, and that kind of bothered me. And so I started kind of reaching out through the city to see where some of these gaps are happening and why people are feeling like they're having these experiences. And so that's one of the areas I obviously want to work a lot with, partnering with the education piece of it. The city does a lot of things with Mesa Public Schools and the other districts. And so that's another area that I'm passionate about, but small business is my other big one. And then I also just love the thought of kindness. So I have started a Mesa Kindness campaign. So I'm trying to add hashtag Mesa Kindness to everything I post and trying to get other people to do it too. I think our community could use any good, warm feelings we can get to promote unity and to just know that we're all out there trying to help each other and support each other. And so that's another thing I'm trying to do. And I get, there's an exciting program coming up with Mesa Public Schools that are partnering with City of Mesa that we're going to do with Chris Powell. And that's going to be really exciting that I get to be a part of it too. So anyways, I don't know what else you want to know.
Julie, you just said Chris Powell and Melissa Buxton's eyes lit up.
He's my neighbor, and I thought with him moving in down the street that I would like work out a little bit more, but it hasn't happened yet.
Melissa, you'll be happy to know I actually have a call with him this afternoon.
Wow.
Well, don't tell him that I'm his
very thing.
stalker.
Yeah. Julie,
Chris Powell. They're going to add like a kindness segment to that program. So I was just really excited about that because, you know, some people look at that like it's maybe cheesy or too simplified. And I know from my life experiences that kindness goes a long way. And so I think that that's just something I'm going to do. And I'm doing it already. So
I like that you brought that up because I think everybody on this call, you know, is on social media and there's no reason that we can't include that hashtag with some of our posts. I think that's great. That will definitely be something that the chamber can get behind.
Thank you. When I met with Mark Garcia with Visit Mesa, he said he would start adding that to a lot of their posts too. So if enough of us start doing it, it'll spread. And people are going to just smile at everyone all the time. It's going to be great.
I like your way of thinking. Okay, so she gave you a little background. Is there anything specific you want to talk about from your district? I mean, we know that D2 doesn't have tons of big business, but anything coming that you know of? Anything special going on with our friends at Dana Park?
I am supposed to get a meeting with them soon. I know they're not in town that often, I hear, but I've been getting a lot of questions already about the hotel that was supposed to be coming to the Dana Park area. That would be really nice to have. Yeah, it is. My assistant is Melissa Hollenbeck. She's great. And we joke all the time because anytime anyone mentions District 2, the only thing they say is Dana Park. It's like, and everyone thinks that's Gilbert anyway. So yeah, so it's kind of we do have just my district is neighborhoods. It's Gilbert to Power and then Baseline to Brown, University Brown in areas. So it really is full of neighborhoods, families, a lot of retired people, schools, but we have lots of corners we need help on. We have lots of infill development that needs to happen in areas that I think we could do some exciting things on. Greenchildren University just got a Bosa Donuts and they're getting a Rally's Burger. There's a Goodwill. And so that I'm excited just to see like a little bit of new stuff going in right there, I think will help. But we do have some empty shopping complexes that are going to need some work. Chick-fil-A. If I could figure out how to get another Chick-fil-A, even in the city of Mesa, there's not enough Chick-fil-A's in the world, is there, Melissa? She's holding up her cup. I'll work on that. If I could personally figure out how to franchise a Chick-fil-A, I might look into it too. No, I've heard it's really hard to franchise those, but anyways.
All right. Okay, how about some questions? I know that we have people on this call that are not shy. In fact, pretty much everybody on this call is not shy. Joan Kruger has unmuted.
I have appreciated all the smiles I've seen because sometimes that doesn't happen on Zoom. So I feel a little better when people are smiling back at me. So thank you.
Joan is also the chair of our Government Affairs Council. So you will see Joan again 2 Fridays from now.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So Joan, you have questions?
I am probably the least shy person you'll ever meet. So
I know.
next to Sal. I was curious, you mentioned, and I, before being on the council in Gilbert, I was on the planning commission for many years. And so certainly saw a lot of developers, small businesses, and in my role in commercial real estate, I talk to businesses all the time about trying to get permits and And you had said that you hear from a lot of small businesses that they run into challenges. And I've served with Kevin on several roles in both Gilbert and Mesa. And so I know he's heard this too. In fact, I worked with Sally yesterday on a podcast about commercial real estate and small businesses. And one of the questions is, what can they do to help themselves in terms of commercial real estate? And so is there a common theme? I'm getting my question. Is there a common theme among your small businesses? Again, they don't tend to understand zoning. They don't tend to understand, again, the occupancy requirements and permitting. Is there something that we can do, some of those of us who are in that sphere? Is there something that we can be doing to help, excuse me, help them out a little bit?
Yeah, I think this is kind of what I'm trying to figure out is your question. Okay. Because look, we all know, like, whatever story you hear is probably not the whole truth, right? So every story has two sides, maybe three sides. His side, her side, the truth. So some of it's just trying to figure that out. A lot of what the city talks to me about is that a small business might see something as a problem with the city when actually it's a problem with the architect or the developer or the, that they're blaming on the city, or, there's all these little innuendos in it that make it hard to figure out exactly who's to blame. But over and over, I just hear that Mesa's hard to work with. And I don't want Mesa to have that reputation, right? Like, if we, small businesses are the backbone of our community. And so we want it to, whether it's true or not, if that's the reputation out there, which is what I hear from a lot of people. And so I'm trying to see what I can do to facilitate that. So I would love, I don't know if I'm going to, I have all these ideas. We'll see if I can get any of them to happen. But I would love to actually take a poll of all of the businesses to actually ask what their experience has been with the city and what issues they've had and where are their issues coming from, right? And that's probably really hard because there's hundreds and hundreds of small businesses. But if there was some way to do that and get feedback, the other thing is, one of my brilliant ideas was we need an advocate that works with the city that the small businesses call, and then the advocate works for the small business, right? So they can tell the small business, well, you need to talk to this person, you need to talk to this person, you need to talk to this person. So when I brought up that idea, I found out that we already have one. But it's a newer position. And I don't think small businesses are aware of her. Her name's Heather Omta. And so she is supposed to be a small business advocate. Like, she's the person that a small business would call when they're struggling with whatever it is, right? The permitting, the zoning, the whatever. And so getting things through fast enough, or whenever things get hung up, or the design review board, or, whatever. So all these different, wherever those struggles are happening, Heather would be the one, instead of the business owner trying to figure out who's the right person to talk to, Heather would be the one that would fight for them to help make them be successful. Because I know the city wants these businesses to be successful. It only benefits the city when the businesses are successful. So that's what I'm trying to figure out in talking to different people in the different departments, is where's the disconnect happening? Because the city wants them to be successful and is doing everything that they can, and then the small businesses are still having a frustrating experience. That's kind of where I'm trying to piece together.
Well, if it's any consolation, in my line of work, I've never heard anyone say that the city they're dealing with has been easy. So I wouldn't, obviously any improvement and streamlining that can happen, and the more champions for that, the better. I struggled with that too, and worked to improve it as well in Gilbert when I was there, and I still hear complaints, and they tell me Gilbert's the worst. So, but if there's ever anything I can do, let me know.
Thank you. I just saw Melissa's comment, and that I appreciate that too, because I've also heard of a lot of good experiences and people that are really grateful for the way the city worked with them. So, I mean, to be honest, a lot of the complaints that I talked to the small business owners about did happen in the past, right? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. And so I think a lot of it is trying not to live in the past and to move forward. We have different people. We have Nana now in the last 2 years. So if it happened before 2 years ago, Nana likes to say, it wasn't me. So, you know, that I think there, I just would love to try to fix or to try to help that reputation and make Mesa be somewhere where people feel like we're fighting for them to be successful, right? So
Julie,
instead
we
of making it harder.
We give a lot of that feedback when we're talking with members, and frequently Linda or one of the staff will ask if I can, you know, help out because they don't know who to go to. And sometimes I would venture to say, even if they had a person at the city, they're going to lump everybody at the city because a bad experience together. And
right.
Maybe calling a city employee that's supposed to be helpful is still not the answer. Fortunately, we've, you know, been able to help with a handful of things and, you know, make some improvements. But I do think that people hold grudges because we've heard stories. 20 years ago, this happened.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they usually don't tell the full story. There's a very
one side.
Yeah, there's a very popular story right now going around on social media and have raised, I heard $300,000. And it sounds horrible. If everything they said was true, the city of Mesa is the devil. And so, you know, when I have talked to people and I've heard the whole story and the many, many, many times that they have tried to work with them, you realize like, okay, yeah, that's not the whole story, but that's all the public hears. And so then in the public side, the city of Mesa are the big bad guys that want to shut everyone down. So, I mean, I think it's just changing the story, which that's where your kindness comes in, right? So, but I have heard, so Jay O'Donnell, Chris Brady was telling me that they're really working on kind of a rebranding of small business help so that it's a little bit more identifiable to the public of where they go for help and how they can receive that assistance. And so hopefully when more and more people are either opening businesses or another location, they can work with Heather and feel like she's fighting for them. So I'm hoping that will make a change once people are aware of her.
Yeah. One of the things that Joan actually, she and I have been together a couple of times in the last few days, and we were just talking recently about the fact that Mesa does not have a business registry. So when you want to make an announcement and say to businesses that you have somebody in place to help and be an advocate for them, it makes it a little bit tough when we don't actually have like a complete list of businesses in our community. And I would hope that after things like the ADA mess that we were in a few years ago, nobody's fault, let me just a crazy attorney out there, but things like that, things like the CARES program, that we want to get information out to people. Hopefully we can take another look back at putting something in place. I know small businesses don't want another tax or, another way of tracking them, but at the same time, I think if we can share some stories and really kind of educate people as to why we should have a business registry. It's important so we know what we have. So Bill and his team can do their job, right? And bring in supportive businesses to help the businesses that we have. But then just to get information in front of people, if there's some kind of an emergency or something that, informational or educational that people need to understand. And I don't know of anything kind of a bigger issue than, when we had the pandemic start and the CARES program began, that we should have been able to get that in front of everybody. Because I know our staff was calling every single member and then, some non-members too, just to say, hey, pay attention to the stuff that we're sending out because we're getting this information in front of you, and people had no idea what we were talking about.
Right.
And I know the city did a heck of a job on social media and website stuff, but if you don't know to look, what do you do?
And probably those people are the ones who need the most help, right? So they're not connected, you know, with technology or whatever. And so that is the area. And I know a friend of mine who owns a business in Gilbert. She forwarded me the email that the city of, or the town of Gilbert sent to all the small business owners when the pandemic hit, and it was awesome. And I just was like, oh, that. I mean, it had so much information and so many resources in it. So it's trying to figure out who they all are, though.
Right. Well, I think between the list, like for TPT payments, and then some of the stuff that Mesa Fire might have, but Mesa Fire is looking at building owners, not necessarily the businesses that are in those buildings.
Right.
So, I do think, you know, revisiting getting a business registry or whatever you want to call it, license, it doesn't sound as good, I think, but I think that would be important moving forward, because I don't think that this issue with this pandemic and Mesa Cares is going to be the last time we have some kind of, you know, big emergency.
I agree.
Any other questions? Melissa, you want to talk about what's going on? Lauren, she's unmuted.
Well, yeah, I've got a question about the Mesa Kindness campaign. What exactly does it entail? What's the idea behind it? Is it including Mesa nonprofits and that sort of thing? Just kind of a basic idea of what your vision is and your mission for that.
Yeah, well, really where it comes from is just that as a mother, I have raised my kids that I don't care if they're the smartest, if they're the most athletic, if they're the best looking, most talented. I just want them to be the nice kid, right? Like, since they were little, that's how I've raised my kids, and they'll all tell you that. And they have done a great job to look for those that don't have friends and that are feeling isolated. And so I love kindness. You can see I have a kindness sign right here. I have kindness signs all throughout my house. It's just kind of who I am. And so I thought, well, I might as well just take this to the city. Like, why not, right? Especially with the, you know, everything going on in our society right now. I saw a lot of yuckiness through the election with my own neighbors and with the people who even in our same church. And so I think that we need to start looking at people as our brothers and sisters instead of as an enemy, or just because they believe one way or they're from a certain political party, they're our enemy, or, you know, it's just ridiculous. And so that's kind of where it comes from. But as of right now, the only thing I've actually done is hashtag Mesa Kindness. So I just tell everyone, it was in my video. I just, you know, have told everyone. Gilbert has a Gilbert Kindness campaign. I think some other cities do too. I would love to actually make it be a real campaign where we put out literature on it and stuff like that. But like I said, this thing that's happening with Chris Powell, which will be in a couple of months, there's going to be a whole day devoted to kindness, and I think we're going to be able to incorporate some of my ideas. But basically what I'm asking people is, if you see an act of kindness or you participate in an act of kindness, to post about it and to use hashtag Mesa Kindness. Every time you go volunteer somewhere, every time you go help with the food distribution. I mean, Sally, you're doing this multiple times a week. You need to add Mesa Kindness to all of your posts.
I will.
Every time you walk your dog, anytime, you know, anytime you attend you go to a new restaurant in downtown Mesa, you know, anytime you're doing something that's making your life better or someone else's life better, throw hashtag Mesa Kindness on there. It's as simple as that.
Thank you. Hey, so Sally, just a side note, it'd be really cool if Chris Powell went to the Mesa Boys and Girls Club. It did something with the kiddos. That would be awesome.
I'll drop that idea today when I have that call.
I was going to say, Sally, that would probably tie in great with all of this. I know it's with the schools and with the city, but kids are involved in this, so that would probably be a great area they could do a video from there or something like that.
I will work on that this afternoon. I think my call goes too.
Great.
Lisa, Linda, Melissa?
I'll speak. So once that fire hose is no longer fully charged, and I speak as the wife of a retired fire chief, Family Promise would really love for you to come and take a tour of our Mesa shelter. We are located on the campus of St. Luke's Lutheran, which is at 807 North Stapley. And I just want to tell you just the crux of Family Promise, and that is that we partner with the faith community. So over 54 congregations and synagogues across the valley welcome our families into their facilities. The volunteers feed them, and our families sleep right there at the church. So we are an invite program, so we don't draw lines. That was a concern of the mayor. And so Family Promise, I think, is just going to be a wonderful addition to Mesa, to the business community, because our families become employed in Mesa. A lot of them eventually settle in Mesa. Our kids go to Mesa schools, but it is a community solution, and it is the faith community who is set up to be kind and to love. And so I'll come back to you maybe in a month or so,
great.
When you're not quite as, having all that information going into your head. But I can tell you the Mesa Community Assistance Office is awesome. I have 3 dear friends who actually worked for the city of Scottsdale for many, 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 many years, and they are all now working for the city of Mesa. And so I love working with your community assistance office. Your grant process is awesome, and so it's
I had a meeting with their department last week and got to meet all of them, and they are an incredible group. They really are. They're doing so much good for so many people, and that excites me so much. There are a lot of people with a lot of needs, and to know that there's, with the city, with all these nonprofits and the way that they can connect people to get the help that they need to have a better life, is very exciting to me. So that's definitely another area I'm passionate about for sure. So I would love to come see your facility. That would be awesome.
Well, thank you for running. Thank you for winning. I mean, most of us just talk, and you're doing, so thank you.
Still feels a little crazy to me, but it's been fun.
Linda, since we're talking about these types of things, can you talk about our Nonprofit Vitality Council? So Julie and others on the call who might not know about it, which I think maybe everybody does. But talk about that, and talk about the Good News Girlfriends Club, because that kind of ties into what we're talking about with kindness.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to say I'm so excited to see you on this call, and so excited about the Kindness Project. I have probably 10 t-shirts that all say kindness, and because I think, as you stated, we really need it, and particularly now. So thank you so much for taking this up, and really, it's going to be great.
I can tell I have some good supporters in this group. So
yes. Regarding the Nonprofit Vitality Council, something that we are just really proud of. We had maybe 5 nonprofits that were a part of this several years ago, and now we have a total of 80 nonprofits and churches that are part of the group. And the premise of this is to really bring all of our nonprofit entities together, so they have an opportunity to share, collaborate, and I would invite you to attend one of those meetings, because there is just this incredible synergy among the nonprofits. And also we have businesses that participate, business members, to see how they can be involved as well. So, we have very large nonprofits such as A New Leaf and Save the Family and House of Refuge. And then we have one that is a one-woman show called Overflow Mission, and everything in between. And the whole idea is that they are sharing what they are doing in the community now. And during the pandemic, really when the COVID and the pandemic first hit, Sally had felt that we should meet twice a month to really talk about, what we all should do. And we've been doing that up to this January, and now we're back to once a month. But it just is a great way for the nonprofits to get together. And then when we meet in person, we will then bring speakers as we did before, and they would be speaking on, grant writing, every topic that would be resonating with that nonprofit. So it's very cool.
That's great. So the chamber facilitates that council?
Yes.
That's so cool. I would
So,
love to
yes.
attend that. Yeah.
I'll send you an invite for the next one.
Thank you.
And then with the Good News Girlfriends Club, it's all about good news.
Love it.
And you'll see most of the ladies on this call have attended, and it is really just a great, great way to end the week. It's on Friday from 3 to 4, and we have a facilitator of the group. Originally, it was Victoria Trafton, and she actually had an injury. So we've had Mary Kaminska that's been stepping in. But every week we have a challenge that we need to go out and do. And then we also have the opportunity to share what our good news is. And sometimes our good news is that we were able to get through Friday without pulling all of our hair out, or I mean, but it really is this opportunity for us as women to get together and really share the good news. And it's just, I really feel very close to everybody on the group. It really is good. And whether they're going through a hard time and we can support them, or whether we can, cheer them on for, they're getting a new job or whatever the case might be. So would love to have you on that call.
That would be fun. Is it like a collective challenge? Everyone's doing the same challenge every week, or it's
yes?
Oh, everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
You notice all these heads nodding because, well, sorry, Kevin. Unfortunately, Kevin's not part of the good news group. But a lot of the ladies on the call, and it's okay, some people can make it every week, some people can't, and it's just been a really nice way to stay upbeat through all of the, not so good stuff happening.
Right.
And we just focus on the good stuff. It's actually been really helpful, because there have been weeks it's like, you get to Friday and you're just like, oh, I'm so beat, and then you pin it down, and then you just get picked right back up.
I love that. So much of life is just your attitude about it all, right? So
yeah, we all have an attitude of gratitude now after being on these calls.
So 2 weeks ago, we were told to take gratitude, but really drill down to gratitude. Not just I'm grateful, for this house, but really even to just dig down even deeper than that. And it was really interesting what everybody had stepped forward with on their gratitude, and it just really meant a lot to hear how everybody was feeling. So anyway.
I love that. That's a really great idea. That's fun. How many women join usually?
It varies. It could be,
we've had
it could be
22, I think, or 24.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it just varies. But it's good. Kevin, as the male spokesperson on the call,
yes.
would you like to talk to Julie about, and the group, because Kevin and Advanced Champion Supply, his family company, has been involved from day one with Mesa Cares, and being one of our providers. Kevin has been, like you said, a chamber member for 4 years, or his family has, and also really involved in some of our other groups. So, and an ambassador.
I'd be happy to, Sally. So, and I apologize for any background noise. I'm here at the office covering, so sometimes I have to jump off. But yes, we were very honored to be asked to be part of the Mesa Cares program by Sally and the city. And what was most gratifying about it, it was good for our business. I mean, quite honestly, we benefited that way, but also to hear the stories of the people that received what we were able to provide, all paid for by the city through the federal grants that they received. And they were very grateful, and they really were. And some of these some of these businesses really needed some help. They were really hurting, and even to this day, I mean, there's many businesses that are still being affected. And so I'm excited to hear about the extended outreach that the chamber and the city might be able to offer to some of the businesses in the community, because the need is still out there, and we're just grateful to help in any way that we can. So thank you, Sally.
Julie, do you want to talk a little bit about, I know it's not been to council yet, but you and the mayor and Councilmember Heredia were on the EDAB call this morning. Do you want to talk about the NDO?
Yeah, well, I can't
Sure. Where's the feedback coming from?
That's Linda. I muted her.
Oh, okay. You would think a mother of 6 kids, I could talk over noise, but sometimes I start getting a little. Yeah, so the mayor is hoping to put through a non-discrimination order. He said they presented to chamber. Would that not have been all of these people?
It went to our board. So
oh, your board. Okay.
We haven't taken a vote on it yet. We have a call with city attorney on Thursday.
Oh, okay. So Sally has a copy of that, or I can get anyone a copy too. It's the draft that they're putting forward. It'll probably go to a vote within a month or so. But yeah, it's just they tried doing this about 5 years ago, and it kind of died before it went up for a vote. So they're now putting it through. It's a little bit more watered down version of the one that was from 5 years ago. But look at a few of my notes really quick. I could answer some questions, but basically they're doing it to try to make sure that everyone's very well aware that our community is accepting and inclusive of everyone and doesn't discriminate against anyone for any reason. And I think that there's a rating that cities get from the HRC, and our city has lost some business from not having a good rating. And this is one of the things when you have a non-discrimination order. So if you want to look at it from a business standpoint, it's good. I mean, it's just good. It's a good thing to do just for people in general. But if you want to look at it from a business standpoint, it should help us attract more businesses to have that officially be the stance of Mesa. I think everyone just knows you shouldn't discriminate. And the city doesn't get a lot of complaints about discrimination, but we want to be ahead of the game on this. So that's the city's putting that through.
So anybody who was following this a few years ago, what Julie's talking about from like 5 or 6 years ago, it was going to be pretty strict. I know from talking to a lot of our businesses, there was also going to be some changes to like that you'd have to make for restaurants. And that was a big concern for small businesses, especially because, well, frankly, it would be costly to have to make changes like that. And this draft ordinance has excluded that. So there would not have to be any changes made. You could do your own thing. Like in our office, we could put locks on the outside restroom doors and unisex signs, and that would cover it. So that we don't have any issues like that. It's, I think, a lot more friendly to small businesses. But that is our concern, is, making sure, because I think it came up this morning, even some discussion about if there were any kind of complaints made, how, Kevin, are you watching my dogs?
Dogs.
How would a small business, pay for some kind of, legal representation to fight some kind of an issue? And so, that would be one of the concerns that we're looking at just as a chamber before we, publicly give support to it. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think, we'll have some answers from the city attorney. I don't know, Julie, if there was any more talk about that. But
yeah, one thing I do really like that I wish they would either change the language on the the draft, or maybe when they present this, emphasize it more, but there's a little bit of harsh language, just that the first offense you get a fine. And when you talk to the city attorneys and the diversity director, Andrea, there's going to be a lot of education, a lot of teaching, a lot of working with these small businesses, especially the really small businesses who don't have like employee handbooks or, you know, lawyers that represent them or whatever. So that made me feel better that they were gonna, I mean, it's like a business with masks, right? They don't go out and just immediately fine them. They go out and they teach and they educate before they're gonna actually fine them or something. So I liked that. That sounds a little bit less harsh to me. So I think that needs to be emphasized better, that there's going to be a lot more training than just you have a fine.
Well, and I like the idea that Chris Brady, our city manager, have two people that's working closely with him on this, to make sure that there's the education piece that happens, you know, prior to anybody just getting fined, and you know, because that would be really unfair.
And they're exempting churches, they're exempting schools, they're exempting expressive speech. So that takes care of the calligraphy businesses, the bakeries, anything that's expressive. That's where those businesses fall under. So that's some of the problems that we've seen, you know, with others. They really tried to match similarly Phoenix, Tempe, Flagstaff. Those are some of the nearby cities that have an NDO, and so they've tried to match a lot of that language and learn from other places where they've had issues and problems.
Thank you. Yeah, does anybody have any questions about that? Because we will be looking at it and really looking at it through the lens of small to medium businesses. A lot of the large businesses, you know, they have their own things in place already. If they did have issues, they've got, you know, the resources to handle legal, you know, anything, that kind of thing. So
our non-discrimination order right now reads that a small business is 1 or more employees. And that's also Phoenix and Tempe says 1 or more employees. And so if Flagstaff says 15 or more employees, the state of California says 5 or more employees, and Utah says 15 or more employees. So that could be something that maybe we would want to look at. But the concern I got from someone was, let's say you run a business out of your garage or in your home and you have 1 employee, and maybe you're a woman and you'd rather have a woman that works with you in your home or in, you know, so you can think of a scenario on all of these things. But so that might be a scenario that would be concerning, that maybe we don't want to target businesses under 5 people, or, you know, but then their response this morning in the meeting was just, well, if we're doing this for all people, then it should be for all people and we shouldn't make exclusions. I mean, that's basically what they said, right, Sally? So if we're doing this for our whole community, it should be our whole community. So I don't know, as a chamber, maybe that's an issue that you would want to bring up more strongly.
Yeah, we'll be talking to Jim about it, because honestly, you know, when you see different people referencing small business and what that looks like, one person, yeah, that's a small business, but so is 5 people or 10 people, you know.
The same concern has come up with the housing, because if some people, or some of the non-discrimination orders make an exclusion for, like, if you own less than 4 rentals, or let's say you have a mother-in-law apartment in your backyard and you want to rent, you're a widow and you want to rent to a woman because you feel safer, or, you know, so right now as the order sits, it would none of those would be excluded. And so maybe there needs to be some, you know, more exclusions on some of those smaller situations.
Yeah. John?
Council member, I will, just as a real estate agent, and I'm, excuse me, not a realtor, because as a commercial agent, I'm not a part of the National Association of Realtors, but I was lucky to be invited to sit in recently on a panel, Zoom panel, regarding the National Association of Realtors updates on what they consider fair housing guidelines. And again, it doesn't apply to commercial because we're not housing, but difficulty over the last few months politically has apparently raised a number of issues in the real estate community and how we're behaving on the job and off. And so they have taken basically a no tolerance policy whatsoever for discriminatory behavior. Excuse me. And I thought that that was interesting. So we are reaching that tipping point where there's no longer really a question about what is and what isn't. And the National Association of Realtors is expanding the legal discriminatory acts and different classifications. And so it's, again, we've got, I think, a squeeze coming from lots of different areas on all of that.
Right. A lot of things could happen federally that would negate anything that we would do as a city anyways. And a lot of things, like, you can already be sued for discrimination in housing, or, there's already, you can
Exactly
already,
right.
People can already go in bathrooms if they identify as a different gender, right? And so that, I mean, you can still have male female locker rooms at a gym. It doesn't apply to schools. I mean, a lot of the concerns I'm hearing are just, these are issues that are already not not included in this. So thank you for that feedback.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Very quiet. Julie, what's your plan for the next 2 months?
What is my well, we haven't had a meeting yet in person. That would be fun. All of our council meetings are still on Zoom, so I've never actually met some of the council members in person. And maybe once we're all vaccinated, we can have a meeting in person. So they're hoping our strategic planning meeting in March might be in person. So I am going to just keep learning. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep doing my hashtag Mesa Kindness. I am really, like I said, super small business focused right now. I'm kind of in the momentum that I don't say no to anything. So anything I get invited to, I'm attending. And so just because I'm trying to learn as much, I know I won't be able to keep up that probably for 4 years, but I done a police ride along and a fire station tour, and I went and toured the facility training, and I did a SWAT team training that they did, which was really fun. We got to be like actors. And they had the K9 unit and the bomb squad and the negotiation team. And I'm touring the water facilities tomorrow. I've gone on ride-alongs with code compliance. I've volunteered at the food distribution several times, just trying to see how everything works, how all these different departments come together to make our city run seamlessly so that people don't know that that's what the city's doing behind the scenes. So yeah, everyone's laughing at me because I'm really attending everything I possibly can right now. And they all say, you're going to have to pick your passion sooner or later. You can't do everything. But right now I'm in my learning phase. So I'm doing everything. So if you want to invite me to something, I'll probably come. Oh, I'm also on the Mesa Arts Center board and the Idea Museum board. And I'm really excited about those, and I'm supposed to get people to come do some tours of those if anyone's interested. So I'm excited to see what more about those museums and the Mesa Arts Center, since I've performed there several times. So I'm a singer. I'm in some choirs. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm excited. I get to do some fun things like that.
Very cool. That's great.
That made me think of a question. So first off, everything that you're doing like reminds me of my old days through the Mesa Leadership Program with the Mesa Chamber. So that's something you might have to do in the future. But
okay.
But the question is in regards to Mesa recycling and that program changing. So if you learn anything new there or have learned anything new, I'm still lying to my family on what can be recycled and what can't be, so that we can at least then I can kind of sneak stuff out later on. But obviously hopefully some changes in the future.
Yeah, that's been a really hard thing. I've watched every single council meeting or study session for the last almost 2 years. I've never missed one. So because I'm just, trying to learn what I can. But so I've watched all the meetings and stuff about recycling, but the whole process kind of changed as to what, you know, other countries would take and stuff. And so it became where it was costing more money to recycle than helping to, you know, earn any money or to even recover the cost of it. So yes, the recycling program has changed a lot. There's still some ideas. They're looking into seeing if it makes sense to do our own recycling plants. Like there's a lot of stuff they're trying to figure out, but I'm doing the same thing at my house. I'm still having my kids recycle, even if I know it's not exactly accepted, and then I just pull it out because they're trying to help people stay in the habit of it. So it's hard when you stop it, it's hard to get people to get going again on it. So I'll keep my ears open on that one, Melissa, because I think that's something that we all need to be concerned about. So.
Thanks, Melissa. Julie, can you put your council assistant contact information or your contact information in the chat room?
Yes.
In case anybody has anything they want to follow up with you. Unless you have anything else, I think some of us could keep you here all day because we're excited that you're excited. Sorry, we are.
I'm excited.
Well, we're very excited to be here, and just know that we are here to support you. And if you need things from any of us as the chamber or individual members, don't hesitate to ask. I'm volunteering everybody on this call. But you know, we're a resource, and you know, we are a good partner with the city, and we do appreciate just being able to work together for the business community and obviously our nonprofit community and others. It's really our job. So
thank you.
Yeah.
You're all so nice. You're already living my hashtag Mesa kindness. I love it.
All right. Well, again, Connie, good. Thank you so much for being our sponsor today. Well, I'd say good to see you, but I can't see you.
Thank you. Thank you all for participating. We appreciate it.
No, it's nice to have a smaller group. We could actually get some talking in. And
that's great.
Again,
reach out to me with any questions and I'll find someone that can answer it.
That is a true leader.
Yep. I'm really good at that. I'm really, really good at delegating and finding out what everyone else knows.
So again, you have us as friends and resources, so don't hesitate to ask. And if we don't see you before, we will see you on our government affairs call in a couple of Fridays.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Right.
Good to see you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.